हेलो एवरीवन, मैं आपकी होस्ट श्वेता दुबे आज आपके साथ फिर आई हूँ बात करने के लिए विद अटलांटा दुनिया वीडियोकास्ट परिक्रमा। अगर आपने हमारी पिछली वीडियोस नहीं देखी हैं तो प्लीज़ गो ahead and watch it out on our web page, Facebook web page and Atlanta Dunia web page. We last time we talked about how the unfortunate demise of late Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput has brought up a lot of questions. We had a great panels. We talked about how it's affecting us, how it's affecting our society, how it's affecting our community. And now people are willing to talk. So today, and today's session, we are going to bring a very special guest who's really professional and who knows the background of it, who has seen many, many patients suffering and struggling, and who has helped many, many people. We are going to talk about what he thinks from a professional perspective. We are also going to ask him some questions, what to do and how to deal with it. So, none further than Mr. Actually, I should say Dr. Paul, who's here today to talk about the mental health, the professional prospect, and all the questions that we're going to ask him today. Welcome, Dr. Paul. Thank you so much for sparing a time for us. We have a lot of questions. You are so, this is your field, in and out. So who could be better to answer our questions? Dr. Paul, mental health, suicide, depression, these were not a common words, which era I'm coming from. Now, please tell us, what is depression? What is depressive disorder?
Thanks, Shweta, for inviting me to the show. Um, I'm a board certified child and adult psychiatrist. I did my medical training in India. Then I came to US and I did my psychiatry training from the Emory University, Georgia. In my profession, I see around 5 to 10 cases of depression every day, and I see around 4 to 5 suicidal cases every day. Over the last 3 4 years, I have treated more than 1,000 people who have attempted suicide. So, from my experience, I can say that depression and depressive disorder is a very serious illness. It is as serious as heart disease, cancer, and any disease we can name. The problem with depression is like when people starts having sad mood, they don't enjoy anything, don't like eating food, they don't like going out, they slowly disengage themselves from the society, they feel hopeless, helpless, they don't have any motivation to live anymore. And when things become too worse and the pain and suffering of living becomes worse, many times they attempt suicide.
Wow. Depression, pandemic situation right now, we all are at home. We're trying to, now we kind of have picked up this daily life, which we never expected to, face to. Now, everyone is depressed. Everyone has issues. How can we identify such a disorder? Because it doesn't have a physical symptoms. It doesn't have a red eyes or skin change or anything like that. How can we identify such a disorder?
Very good question, Shweta, because since depression does not have like overt physical symptom, it can be very hard to recognize it. Many times because of the stigma attached with mental illness, if you say that I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling so low, I'm feeling sad, I don't feel like living anymore, people may say that, oh, toughen up, become strong, become a man, and it's nothing, it will go away, it will pass, everything will be normal. People will say all those things, and these things don't help. So depression can happen anybody. It can happen to rich, poor, young, old, physically healthy, physically sick, male, female, children. What happens is many times people may not say they are depressed, but as a loved one, as a closed one, we have to see for other indirect clues of depression. Suppose a person may say that they are not depressed, but if you ask them, hey, let's go out and eat, they will say no. Let's go out for movies, they will say no. You'll ask them, hey, let's go and play, they say no. Let's watch movie, they say no. Whatever you want to engage them, they will say no. They want to be alone, they become isolated. The things that used to enjoy them in the past, they are no longer interested in them anymore. In addition, their sleep is disturbed. They wake up early in the morning, or they cannot go to bed at night. They're always talking about negative things. They are talking about past traumas. They are crying for no reason. In addition to that, they may also don't feel like eating food. They start neglecting their food. They stop dressing up. They stop caring for their hygiene. Like they slowly start disengaging from all the activities of life. So these are very serious indirect clues about the depressive disorder.
Yeah, so as you said, as you mentioned, there are so many evidence that person liked before but not liking it anymore and not going for those options. But Dr. Paul, as you said, you treat children, you treat adult as well. The great demise of late Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput, he was such a well-do person. What he didn't have in the man's checklist, he had everything. Success, money, car, the house, parents, family, friends, but he's still here, not here with us, in today's date. So, such a successful person, he still, what people are saying, which is still a matter to discuss, but they're saying he was depressed and that's why he commits suicide. We are not sure if it was murder or suicide, but that's what they're claiming to. So how come such a successful person who has everything in the checklist also can go for such an option?
Yeah, so there are 2 points I want to highlight here. As I said, that depression, it's a like heart attack. It's a disease of the heart. It can happen to anybody. Heart is an organ. It can get diseased. It can get weak. Doesn't matter rich or poor. Similarly, depression is a disease of the mind, and mind is in the organ brain. Similarly, brain can have problems, and stress also comes with success. The more you become successful, the more the society expects from you, and the daily stressors gets higher and higher. And also there is another point that when the stress becomes overwhelming, when the stress becomes overwhelming and if you have a pre-existing vulnerability, like each time you're born everybody has some vulnerabilities, like that's because of our genetic makeup. So some people have lung illness, some people have heart illness, some people have joint illness. So each one of us are born with certain organs which are stronger than average and certain organs that are weaker than average. And also rich and successful people, intelligent people, when they become depressed it can be even more dangerous, because since they're smart, like Sushant Singh Rajput was a very smart, intelligent guy. He was a physics champion. He was an Olympic medalist. He was an IITian. So when he became depressed and when he decided to kill himself, he did a thorough research. He found out a way to kill himself, and the attempt he made was successful. Most people I see in my hospital, they try to kill themselves, but they fail. Sometimes the rope breaks. Sometimes they will overdose on drugs and the dose is not strong enough. They were taken in the hospital and they survive. Sometimes they want to burn themselves, but after a small burn, it stops. Sometimes they want to cut themselves. So killing yourself successfully is not an easy thing to do. And Shushant, being a very smart and intelligent person, he must have done a thorough research, and the attempt he made was unfortunately successful, like other success he had in his life.
Mhm. And we hear that nowadays kids are even, they're saying they're aware of word depressed, they're aware of word suicide. A 6 year old, I was talking to one of my relative and he said कि 6 साल का बच्चा उसने खुद को अपने को लटका लिया. It's amazing to me to see that what a 6 years old goes through, what pressure does he have. He has food in his plate, he has to study and play and sleep. Now in pandemic we're not even going outside, so there is not such a pressure it used to be. But what could have hit him to take such a big step in his life? So my question to you is, why do people attempt suicide?
This is a very great question, but I want to clarify something. Stress level in children is more during the pandemic than not in the pandemic. And although the government has made a policy of lockdown, people staying at home, and the whether this is the right policy or not, nobody's sure. But we have no other things to do. Only time will tell what would have been the right approach. But staying at home is not a natural human behavior. Human comes from the lineage of primates. So we parted from our primate ancestors 6 million years ago. So for then we had this agricultural life where people, they were in the field, they're working outdoors in the field all day. Previously, they were hunter and gatherers, they used to hunt all day. Then there was more like manual work, people going outside. But now this electric light and the indoor plumbing is a recent phenomena. If we just go back 50 years ago, like especially in India, people are outdoor all the day. So staying inside the room, it is not a natural human behavior, and staying indoors increases your stress level. Human beings are not supposed to be enclosed. We are like, staying indoor is like you are living in a cage. Although the cage has AC, the cage has all the gadgets and gizmos, but it's like we are all in our own small personal zoo. So for adults who are mature, they can engage themselves by doing a lot of activities and all. But for children, it's very detrimental to their health. And children, when they go to school, they meet with their friends, they get in activities, they do go to different classes, they learn. But now they are at home and they're taking online classes, and research has shown that online learning is not as effective and not as powerful as face-to-face learning. Adults can still manage online learning, but for children who have limited experience of learning by other ways, it's very difficult for them. So now children are isolated, they are not able to talk with their friends, they are in the home, they are indoor, they are homebound, they cannot go and play outdoors. They have all this physical energy that they are not able to burn. So they are like, like internally, they feel trapped. On top of that, now this is all are like isolated nuclear families. Previously, it in the joint families, there used to be, each household used to have 4, 5, 6 children, brothers living together, families living close by, relatives living close by. But now everybody has 1 or 2 children, most of them. So children don't have playmates. So in the end, they want to do more screen, more video games, but parents don't want them to do more video games, because obviously it is also not good. So at this time, children neither they can go out and play, nor they can play video game all day at home. So they are in middle of this stressful situation. And to make matters worse, in America, like 50% children are not raised by the two biological parents. There is a divorce, there is a step, or they're raised by single parent. So in midst of all these things, children feel a lot of times isolated. They feel like they don't have any good genuine friend. They feel like they don't have anybody they can trust. So as a child psychiatrist, I have treated children as young as 4 year old who have endured suicidal thoughts.
Well, as you mentioned, kids learn from their doings. They like hands-on activities, and you're right, they cannot go to school. But these are the problems that at least we are now coming out and talking about it. How does a psychiatric treatment helps? Or a psychiatrist visit helps or work? Can you please explain?
Yeah. So what happens that, like, for common person, since they are seeing that person, who have no experience, many times it is difficult to identify the signs of depression, the signs of suicide, the risk factors. So so the family and the friends, they may miss it. And once the person commits suicide or makes a suicidal attempt, then everybody, is shocked. They say that, oh, how can he or she do that? He seemed so happy, he seemed such a great friend, such a great family member, such a great person. How can we have missed? So I will suggest, if there is a warning sign, it is better to see a psychiatrist. I will say for children, it's better to start with a child psychologist, because a lot of the times, like, counseling and therapy can also help. And psychiatrists can also help in identifying, if they need, if there is too much anxiety, there is a medication that can relieve the anxiety. And depression, there are medication that can help with the depression. If there is an aggression, if there is a sleep problem, medication can help. Although long term medication for children or adults, whoever, maybe, may not be good, but the medication helps you to buy the time, and whatever the problems are there, medication gives you that boost. It's like a crutch. It helps you to overcome that until you also try to find out other areas, other challenges in life, and work towards them.
बिल्कुल सही कहा डॉक्टर पॉल आपने। कई बार सिर्फ केवल बच्चों को जाना आपके पास और आपसे बात करना भी हेल्पफुल हो सकता है। A lot of time parents, not all parents understand, what kids is coming from, what he or she is trying to say. So we have one of our great viewer and wanted to ask you this question. He wants to ask, what are the best ways for a friend or family members to support an individual who is depressed or waiting to attempt suicide?
I think suicide is a too risky thing. I think, and in America, by law, if you have a health insurance, that will cover the mental health treatment, and you have to pay the same copay that you will do if you go a doctor for heart or lung problem. So, as a friend or family member, I will think the best approach will be make sure that you take them to a psychiatrist or psychologist for an evaluation, because suicide, it is too deadly, it is too risky, and many times, um, I hate to say that, but many times the friend and family are themselves a part of the reason the person is depressed or suicidal. And no relationship is black or white. All there is always gray areas. The person who gives us the maximum love, maximum support, they can also become the reason we become stressful and we become upset and all those things. So friends and family, when they come into the picture, sometimes the person will not open up to them. They will feel shy, they will feel judged, or there may be a third person involved who is causing the problem, and third person is close to both and they don't want to divulge that. So it can get very complicated. So it is better, and people feel more comfortable in opening up to a third person whom they know will not judge them and will deal or look into the matter with fresh objective eyes.
So, the family and the friends are suggested to be understanding, not being judgmental, and that those were will be a great support towards a person who is struggling and suffering. So, Dr. Paul, how have you seen the atmosphere and the attitude around these issues change over time?
um, I will say the changes have been a lot. When I started 10 years ago, people are talking less about it, but now people are talking more about it. And I think with the advent of social media, like when I started, I never imagined that smartphone will become so powerful. Like on the palm of your hand, you can find out any knowledge of the world, you can read any article, you can watch any movie, you can watch any song, you can do video chat with any number of people. So that this has been a revolutionary thing, which has really, this smartphone and the unlimited super fast internet, that has really changed the world over the last 10 years. But one of the consequences of spending time on smartphone and spending time with Facebook friends or social media friends is you have less time to spend with real friends face to face. And for some reason, human brain does not register the social interaction and the chats that well. So although you are chatting or doing face videoing with your loved ones all day, for some reason brain does not get that well. So face to face, when we are spending time, it is very healing. Spending face to face time with your loved ones, with your friends, family who understands you, who loves you, who cares for you, and you know that they will always think the positive for you, it has a lot of healing power. That's why family is protective. So people who live in family, who have children, who are married, they attempt suicide less. Their depression is less severe than people who are single, who are living alone, who has less friends. Like for Sushant Singh Rajput, he was depressed. He was struggling with mental health issue for some time, but he was living in Bombay. He was by himself in the apartment. I read in the paper that his girlfriend left, then his friend was no longer with him, and his mother passed away a few years back. His sister is in United States. His father was in Patna, and from what I get, that he, and I read that in the Bollywood industry there was a lot of nepotism against him. People were not very supportive towards him. So I feel that as a 34-year-old, and he had a lot of potential, but he did not achieve peak success, like the success that he deserved or the success he had the potential to have. So in his mind, he was still not happy because he realized that he has not fulfilled his potential. And with all these things going on, he did not have that much support around him. And with this coronavirus problem, it also limited his movement going outside or limited other closed ones to visit him. I think that made a big impact, and that made it very hard and difficult for him.
Right, we are human, we are emotional people. So, great message, Dr. Paul. You're saying that give time to one another, be there for each other. Now, what are some best ways to maintain mental health during this stressful time? We all are stuck. We never thought we'll have to go through this. So, what are some best, ways to maintain the mental health during this time?
Okay, so first of all, I will say that don't stay at home all the time. Although the government is saying that the risk of coronavirus is small, but there are other aspects of health too. There is a heart, there is a lung, there is a brain, there is an entire body. So staying at home in this lockdown period is not good for your mental health. It is not good for your physical health. Go out of the house, wear a mask, keep a 6 foot distance, go to the park, make sure that you don't come across too close. Anyway, in USA, especially in Georgia, even in regular times, if you go out for a walk, it is difficult to come in 6 foot proximity with other person. So so first of all, don't lock yourself down. What is good for the society may not be good for the individual. You have to take care of your individual health first. So but wear mask, keep a 6 foot distance, try to go to park in a time when you don't feel there is too much people, get the sun on your body, get fresh air on your body. If you have a backyard, spend time in your backyard. Although video chat is a close substitute of face to face meeting. So make sure you stay in touch with your friends in video chat. Eat healthy, because these people staying at home has deteriorated the health of the people. They are not getting enough exercise, they're watching too much TV all day. Many people cannot sleep at night because they're indoor all the time. They are ordering too many pizzas, all the pizza sales have gone up. They're eating junk food all day, and it has harmed the health of the population severely. So only time will tell whether staying at home was the right choice or facing. I don't know about that. But at this time, what I want to emphasize is get enough exercise. If you are not going outside, get exercise at home. Spend time in your backyard. Number one, exercise. Number two is eat healthy. Do not neglect your health. Do not eat sugary junk food all day. Few here and there is okay, but eat lot of fruits, vegetables. If you're a vegetarian, make sure you eat lot of milk products to get the protein and fat. If you're a non-vegetarian, make sure you have some meat and fish. Number fourth is stay in touch with your close ones, call, make face to face, video chat, call. Fifth one is, go out during a time when you don't feel you will be in contact with other people. Keep 6 feet distance, wear a mask. And if you feel that your condition is becoming worse, call and make an appointment with a psychologist or psychiatrist. A lot of them are doing face to face visits over telephone or in person.
Greatly worded, Dr. Paul. आपने तो सारी बातें बिल्कुल साफ साफ कह दी. One more last time, I'm going to ask you one more last question. You have said, stay connected, be there for one another, talk, give time, stay healthy, great outside activities, outdoor activities. We are emotional humans, and it's okay to be emotional. But one last message, if you want to give to our audience, our viewer, through this platform, please go ahead and say any last message that you have for our viewers.
Okay, so the last message I want to give you is don't think your brain is something separate from your heart, lung, or your skin or some other organ. The brain is just like organ, and all organs sometimes go down. They need some help, they become weak. If your mind, brain, psyche becomes weak, if you feel anxious, hopeless, sad, depressed, don't feel shy. The health priority law has said that physical health, mental health are of equal importance. The insurance will cover the full cost of mental health treatment. In USA, there are a lot of psychiatrists, a lot of psychologists. You have the best mental health treatment available here. Make sure you take full advantage of all the resources out there. And sometimes just visiting a mental health professional, telling your problem, getting a new perspective will open up a lot of ways. You will learn new coping skills and make sure that you avail all these opportunities with an open mind. If you feel you will be judged, if you don't feel comfortable in telling with your friends or family, do not worry. Seek professional help. And if you are lucky enough, if you have good understanding family and friends, share with them your struggles and they will help you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Dr. Paul. Thank you so much for your time. I know this is a busy time and you took time to come here and talk about it. I wanted to just add out there, throw it out there that I think mental health, if you want to go and see the doctors or psychiatrists, the co-pays are also waived these days during the pandemic, if I'm not wrong. Some of the co-pays are waived from the health insurance and everything. So thank you so much for coming out and sharing so much knowledge. It was very informative. We are now at least talking. Now at least we are aware. And the great message you gave: don't be judgmental, be understanding. And we're human. We can learn. It's okay. Time is not gone anywhere. So, and oh yeah, I want to tell my viewers that go ahead and watch our old past video past. We have continue talking and awareness, spreading awareness in our community. And I hope that everybody stays healthy, positive, and happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta, for having me. Hopefully, it will make a positive impact. Thank you. See you again.
Thanks.